Let's jam. Do 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 do.
Yeah, should be recording. Alright, yay.
Welcome to part two.
Yeah, part two! This time with another dinosaur related game, because why not? Dinosaurs are the theme of the day. How'd I get in this boring corpse? Okay, there we go. Alright, yeah, so we are continuing our talk about World of Darkness and other stuff. Yeehaw, diggity dog dog. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, motherfucker.
So yeah, definitely gonna...
Yippee-ki-yay.
So in Demon, definitely gonna be playing a Scourge. Ooh, mutant dinosaur nearby. Cool. For Werewolf, it's definitely going to be interesting. Going to be playing Farah the Apocalypse, which is kind of fun. It means when we encounter Western werewolves, it gets to be a situation of oh fuck, which is nice because normally you're the Western werewolves and running into other people and being like, oh yeah, motherfuckers, are you some fucked up worm spawn? But instead, you'll be the characters being encountered by that guy, and be like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be different and fun. I like the idea.
And there definitely are enough Western werewolves around for us to run into.
Yeah, that's
In Australia, we might be able to find creatures from all around the world.
yeah, which is really cool. A
Oh,
lot of
absolutely.
Western stuff. So, for Africa, which was the one we were playing, I created a special werefox for the South African fennec fox thing that they got there. It's really cute. Anyways, they had instead of paper folding magic, they had grass folding. So they would make like weaved objects for abilities. It's cool. So I just wanted to mention that because it was something that was made there that players could have encountered but wound up not seeing. So
Now, when you mean paper, you mean like origami?
yeah, like origami and stuff. Like yeah, they'll do whatever. They'll fold paper into shapes to do magic and whatnot, which is a regular thing in the Asian thing for the kitsune. So the African ones, I gave them grass weaving equivalent, which was really cool. Yeah, just wanted to mention that.
So, um, right. Do you have any idea what we're going to be doing in this Farah campaign?
Uh,
Because we can't really talk about Major Hunter without Joey here. I've kind of gone over sort of like my general ideas um for Changeling. I could delve a little deeper into Demon, but
oh yeah,
perhaps we want to
so
talk about the Empire a little bit.
So, Farah the Apocalypse is definitely going to be interesting. So, we'll be starting literally after the defeat of Zamish II and what's left of him, retreating into the deep Umbra and dealing with the consequences of all that shit. Which will probably be why and how you guys wind up becoming a pack anyway. How do I move this thing? Alright. But yeah, so we'll start there. Literally, like the day when his body has been defeated and he's warped into the next plane. Which will be great, because that'll be one of the most fucked up moments of there. But I still get... Oh shit, it stood up. Oh, dang. One moment. Oh, eye shot! Okay.
Yeah, Zamichi the Second is not someone to mess around with.
Yeah, no. A Zamish getting to actually
I
do
feel
its
like
Zamish stuff and whatnot. Oof, boy.
yeah,
That's
no, I feel
not
like your
good.
skin intact anyway.
Yeah, no. So, yeah. The fact that that's a thing that has just happened there will have huge consequences. I just took down a Ceratosaurus. But yeah, so, oh boy. Yeah, that's going to be where we're starting. So the werebear will get to use their healing stuff right off the bat. We're going to be dealing with some really messed up shit because, we have just taken down a Zamish. It's got, like, living skin fortresses made out of, like, captured werewolf kinfolk and all sorts of other shit. And this horribleness that, is all still a
Living
live
skin
screaming mess.
fortress.
Yeah. Come on, have you seen Zamish's one? Have you read about it? It's super fucked. It's made out of
Yeah,
other
no, I'm
vampires and
familiar. I
stuff.
just don't
Yeah,
like that. I still don't like that sentence.
yeah. So having just taken one of those fucking things down and defeated this guy as close as possible before he does his bullshit to air quotes escape is yeah, it's gonna be really neat. And that's where we're gonna start. It'll be the saddest fucking day for your characters as you just went through all that shit. But it'll also be the connective day of why you all are together and why you gotta go out there and kick some Wyrmspawn ass. But also, it'll leave the fair in a position to actually want to go after the vampires in more earnest, which creates all sorts of other problems. Because, vampires are
Problem.
mitigated in cities, etc., whereas the Farah and werewolves usually hang outside of it. And after just seeing that thing being manifested and having to deal with that and realizing, hey, this could happen again, this thing went into our own place to go hide, and stuff like that, it creates all sorts of opportunities for plot lines to form from that. And I really think it'll be the best place to start, but I can't get too into it yet because we got to build up the characters in the world and who's causing what problems and who in the vampires actually knew and went to wake this guy up and everything. Which will also affect the vampire game dramatically. Because if it turns out someone who the players are of the vampire game are really hanging out with and enjoying is one of the guys responsible for getting Zamish II woke up in the first place, they're gonna run down with some problems with some Pharaoh or werewolves down the line. And it's gonna be good. You might see it. You might play vampire, be like, oh, that was fun. And then we get back to Pharaoh. You're like, we're attacking the guy who we know in that other game.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea what the vampire game will look like at all?
Yeah, we do. So it really depends mostly though on which area we choose to play. If we choose Camarilla, if we choose Freeport basically, where you be anybody, or if we choose Anarch, that'll really be the biggest choice because they're all in unique positions after Zamish has risen and then fallen. Air quotes fallen because the fucker got away.
I mean, I'd like to, I think the real question is how spread out should we make the different games, right? Because if I'm going to have Changeling set in Sydney,
yeah, I definitely don't want to have Vampire in Sydney as well. I'd like to see how it's affecting another city. But if we do put it in Sydney, if we do put it in Sydney, then that creates a really interesting flow that we'd have to consider. So either outside of it because, ease of doing stuff and not stepping on each other's toes, or, purposefully embrace the toe stepping.
Yeah, I think.
Always wanted that.
I mean, we just kind of need to figure out where each campaign is going to be centered. It's kind of the big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because once I know Vampire, I know what unique position we're in, and therefore what how the campaign's going to go down. So if we're Anarchs, the fact that Zamish was there, damn, one shot, one kill. That Zamish wound up woken up and attacking, and he was, a Sabbat thing and all that, creates a situation where they look like, oh, we're right, this guy was some Sabbat stuff, well, not Sabbat are bad, we should look good, blah, 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 blah. But also the devastation wreaked from that might make it be like, okay, well, we're a lot weaker and more exposed than we thought. So how many of us are actually going to turncoat to, go work with the Camarilla for the safety of it? And also, how fucked are the Camarilla? Because that happened under their watch anyway. It shouldn't have. Someone should have been there for it. Are they really a lot weaker than we think? Can we take them over? Stuff like that for the Anarchs. For the Camarilla, it's the exact opposite. It's the worry of like, ooh, are the young blood fuckers going to come, take us over? Are the free running guys going to do something? Or did they specifically do this to make us look bad? Like, who did this and why? all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the free
Yeah,
runners.
I don't think.
Yeah, honestly,
Go ahead.
probably some of them were involved in that shit, and then there's other ones who definitely were not. And there'd be that whole. It becomes a civil war question of like we're on the brink of civil war because we know someone was involved in this shit, and we're being attacked by were creatures and stuff now, whereas before it was semi okay. Now they blame us for everything. So whose fault is this and why? A lot of stick pointing.
I don't think we're going to play Anarchs. We're not going to play Sabat, and we'll probably.
That's why I didn't even bother saying the Sapat situation.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it just comes. We'll probably. It's a hard choice, really. Because I mean, I can put Demon anywhere, right? The actual city doesn't make really a whole lot of difference. So. Yeah.
Yeah, basically the main setting thing that matters is where is Vampire now that we know where Changeling is.
I mean, Changeling is going to be Sydney. Changeling is Sydney. So, yeah, I guess we just kind of need to figure out what Joey's opinion is, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, that's really the biggest thing because Werewolf doesn't even require the cities. We can interact with the wilderness and be completely fine. Like literally never have to touch a city. But if we do interact with cities, which we probably will because of the vampire thing having just happened, it'll create a whole different dynamic of how we're interacting with them and what we're doing there. It's more of a we're here to purge type of situation, which is very different than the other play styles.
I mean, for sure.
Oof.
Yeah, because I plan on hiding a lot of things from you during the Changeling game.
Hell yeah.
Like you're going to be doing stuff, and you're just going to be doing stuff. You'll see a lot of short-term goals, or maybe even not. Maybe you're just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
This is a very Changeling thing to do. Just be like, hey, this seems like fun. Let's go do it.
Yeah, I didn't mention what I was going to play in Changeling. So, in Changeling...
No! Yeah.
I originally wanted to play a Pisky, but I changed my mind and went back to the first thought I had, which was, why isn't X working to cause this evacuation to happen? Anyways, and I'm going to play a mermaid. I'm going to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be a mermaid in the Outback. I figured that'd be fun. Especially since Craig's being a troll, it's like, oh, well, my friend is this super tough guy who can, carry me around and whatnot. Which is kind of why I was thinking of Pisky, because they're, short little kid type things that always steal. But then I was like, oh, mermaid would be more fun, because I'll be, this smexy person who's, freaking useless. I seem like, what do you call it? I'm not anorexic, but something like that. And just have all these issues where it's oh, man.
Malnourished.
Yeah, where I seem like this malnourished but sexy person, and I'm just let me lay on top of your back, carry me around. But then when we get to places that actually have water and stuff, like when we're by the coast, or when we're at a lake or a river, or a school area with a pond with the school swimming thing,
Rare scenarios.
yeah, I'll be all happy and gung ho and there with everything. Or if it's a foggy day, I'm out running about, having fun and doing all the stuff, So, yeah, I figured that'd be a fun way of doing the game and just playing it. 'Cause it's just different.
I wasn't planning on having the Changeling game happen in the Outback. I was putting it in Sydney.
Yeah, I know we might wind up in the Outback for a bit, but not. That's not going to be the majority of it.
You'll be there at some point.
Exactly, just like how I know if we play Vampire, we'll probably wind up going to another city for some reason at some point, and that's where we run the most risk of encountering werewolves and other things between.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think all of the characters at some point should do some traveling, just to increase the amount of like interaction and like impact they have on each other.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and yeah, especially since we'll be coming after such a strange situation, it'll really make things, you know, good because this thing happened and it's going to need to be investigated. And especially with how it winds up going down. Because, you know, if we're talking from the vampire situation, hey, that's a Methuselah who ate a Methuselah from their time, who just woke up, caused some shit, and then disappeared into another plane of existence, like super down into it, utilizing some artifact we didn't even know existed. Uh, what? You know, and they're only going to know bits of that information, but they're going to try to figure out as much as they can. And that'll lead them to the other people who are trying to keep secrets and cough off things involved in the affair. And again, it's a Sabbat leader who just shown up and disappeared, who, you know, the Sabbat all disappeared recently themselves. So it's like, is that how they disappeared? Is it not really that they're hiding? They all went to the Middle East, but instead they are traveling across dimensions or utilizing teleportation magic? Are they time traveling? What the fuck is going on? And you know, the worry of that.
With everything that we've got going on, like the amount of dimensional shenanigans that are going to occur will truly be off the charts.
Oh yeah, like I said. So basically, I'm going to treat, because of the weird situation of the spirit world in real world Africa. I know Africa, Australia, because Africa's its own fuck show. But in Australia, I'm going to treat it very similarly to how. Ooh, it's so pretty. To how the Dream has said to be treated officially. That's a 3-star, where, you know, it's physically there sometimes, like 100%, and other times it's still just like the Dream. So I'm going to treat it like that. With the closer you are to where Aboriginals are, the more physical and direct it is more often.
Okay,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah, and then the other fun issue I want to have with it is the Umbra itself and the werewolves and stuff will have their own issues with the Aboriginals, because if the Aboriginals see lessons to be learned in creatures, which might be Wyrmspawn themselves, they'll bring them back through telling their stories, whereas the were creatures might want those
Yeah,
things
that's
to be
true.
dead forever, which creates problems between were creatures and hunters, since hunters are intrinsically linked to the Aboriginals with the way Australia works. What was that? What was that? What was that? Oh god, I'm being charged.
What are you
Okay.
playing?
Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter?
Yeah, you can take the stream.
Yeah, you can hit the stream. Oof. Get back here.
You know, my character.
For which
Don't
one?
you play Ark? That's a good one.
I don't have it installed right now, that's
Oh,
why.
Ark is good. I have all the DLCs and shit for it. I have it on Xbox though.
Yeah, I've played Ark, but the people you wind up with online are trash. I wound up with people who made a air quotes church that they used just to kill other players, and that pissed me off to a point where, you know, as a minister, I was fucking done. Because I did that in the background when I wasn't even there, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, a church, how fun! Oh, we can like give people supplies and stuff. It says so. That's gonna be good. We're well off. We got like 6 T-Rexes, so that's gonna be a really nice way to help new players. And they're using it to just fucking kill noobs and stuff, and that pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah, it's the end.
Back in the day, I had my own personal server, so
Yeah. Yeah, see, I was with those people
That
for a
wasn't a
couple
thing?
weeks before that was a thing, so that pissed me off because it's a huge betrayal.
I don't mind doing. If all of us wanted to play Ark, I wouldn't mind putting it fronting up for a server, so we could all play together.
Ark.
I think PixArk was more interesting to me because it had a little bit less of the annoying part of the mechanics, But it's had a little less of the fun part of the mechanics too. But there's the mutant. I was wondering where the mutant was. Okay, I found it. But yeah, anyway, Werewolf is going to
Okay.
start off on a really sad note with some fucked up shit that's going to be the basis for, well, the rage that all the characters have in them and the whole thing of standing with each other to end that shit once and for all. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
My dex modifier is my dex modifier is 13.
Yeah, so I still got to work on the exact specifics of how the fight would have gone down. Ooh, that's a mutant too? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so beautiful. But yeah, the fight with Samish the second is going to be pretty fucked. But
Yeah,
we're
I'm
going to be...
excited to hear about that.
Yeah. My goal is...
After I briefly glimpsed Thane.
Yeah, which, by the way, you're still missing a part of, but you'll see it on the next episode.
I can't wait.
Don't you run me over. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. That's how most of my
I'm
T-Rex
wondering
hunts end.
here. Hey, question.
Yo.
Do you think it's worth taking one level of Ranger for my Rogue Assassin?
No.
And it's
Not
what
even with
level
the
are you going to be?
Not even with like favorite enemy and the Archer bonuses and everything.
Well, what level are you going to be? What level are you going to be?
11.
Not worth it. At that point,
Not
no,
worth it?
it's not really going to do anything better that, doing other things would. If you were like level
Okay.
5 or so, then it could be worth it because it could make a notable stat difference. But at that point, it's not. It's not doing anything for you. I mean, what it is doing something for you, but you'd get a better benefit out of utilizing your main class.
That's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to double check on that because I know you get bonuses to your archery and shit with Ranger. But my equipment is a purple studded leather armor +2.
Nice. I like the fact that it's specifically purple. Oh no! Oh no!
A blue longbow +2 and a set of bracers of archery. That's
Yeah,
what my character has for his items.
the items are doing more for you than the class would. So
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah.
So, what else is up for discussion on the Australia stuff?
So, with the Australia stuff, well, we have our big
Want to be out in the outback?
we have our big cataclysmic event. We know the werewolves, they're going to be spending most of their time out in the outback, but they will go to the cities looking for that sweet, sweet revenge. Some carryovers about things that should be mentioned. So, Pentex carryovers. So, with Vampire the Requiem, which I did not know was split from Vampire the Masquerade, and I still treat as the same but smaller scale. The Hungarian vampires had figured out some shit, and Pentex took advantage of that shit. So I was utilizing it in our current campaign. So in the current campaign, and you'll see it on the next episode, the Transviscera ability was taken to a special extreme in two different directions. One, I don't know if you guys will ever see, and so I'll just tell you about it. And the other one, what the hell? And the other one, you'll definitely see in a small portion, but might not know what the hell's going on. So I'm going to tell you. The Transviscera, which is basically a magical, thaumaturgical version of vicissitude, they figured out they could do two fun things with it. One, they could put a vampire inside somebody else. And two, they could put other people inside vampires. That combination of things has led to some crazy shit. So, basically, if you
I
put
don't understand what you mean by inside of.
if you put a vampire inside somebody else, there's a few ways to do it. One way is to this is the way that I know is to turn yourself as a vampire into a debitum, but you do it around the other person's organs, usually the heart or brain. So you basically encase them from the inside. Oh, dang, I think it was sleeping. I thought it was taken out. Okay, oof. And so from that, if you do that to another vampire, you basically act as that vampire's beast until, you decide to use what you've stored of your own blood points to, manifest yourself and pull yourself out of them. And you could do it other things too. You could use your own abilities while within there, utilizing your blood, or if you're an evil enough bastard with high enough transvisera, using the other vampire's blood. Which is some crazy high tier bullshit, but it's really cool. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely doing that, so I did that. And then there's the opposite way, which is where a vampire encases somebody else, which is crazy. So you have to set up a few things with yourself and know what you're doing, or use machines for it, which Pentex has both. And what you do is you literally encase another person with you because you're just blood and skin. You don't even need the bones, so you don't keep your bones. Instead, you wrap your blood and your skin around their body and, literally control and puppet them. Which, yeah, it takes more blood to do that. But, yeah, you can. And keeping them alive is where most of the technology comes in, unless you decide to use some of the thaumaturgical magic stuff to redirect your blood around so they can still breathe through you. It's pretty fucked up.
It does sound fun.
Yeah, and there's a few things that are interesting about that is it does work with supernaturals. So, if you were wondering how Margalos had magic, well, that's how.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. But it's not necessarily needed to use magic, because Joey's character has started dabbling in it, right?
He's attempted to try, and there's reasons why things might be working better than suspected.
Oh. Uh-oh. I don't like the way you phrase that.
Yeah, exactly. That's never a good way for someone in charge of things to explain something. Oh my gosh, this T-Rex is just like drifting. Okay, now it's moving correctly.
Stick your hand inside your buddy. You might be surprised at what you find.
Yeah, which is I've had roles when people are alone with Joey for extended periods.
Oh boy.
And he is a caitiff who doesn't know who sired him, who was raised with a bunch of gangrel during World War II. Well, World War
God.
One and Two.
Oh no.
So, yeah.
Anyway, so going back to changeling stuff,
Yeah.
Fun fact. Apparently, true creatures of myth can just show up in the Outback.
Yes, they can. Oh my god. What do you call it?
Be prepared for one of those to show up.
I have the book for Generalized World of Darkness / Storyteller System, whatever it's called. The ones that are just creatures of myth. And on there it does include actual dragons and like 6 different kinds of them. Including the ones who are like, yes, I'm a mountain. Yes, I fly.
If you could send me that book, that might help me significantly.
Alright, I'll make sure to do so. How far is this
Awesome.
T-Rex? They are 138 on average. Okay. Breathe. Oh, dang, I missed. That's not good.
Now what?
It runs. No. Try and eat me. Get closer. Damn it. But yeah, I'm hunting this T-Rex down. Swag. YOLO. Oh, wait, I should not do that. There's also Serratos. Anyway, yeah, so that whole situation is still going to carry over, but probably won't matter as much for that campaign.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh man, T-Rex stompies.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you
Strata.
guys like show up and like there's like a fucking sphinx in the desert or something.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. Honestly, I'm excited to see someone do a Sphinx right, because the only Sphinxes I've used with you guys were one who was purposefully retarded because of story things, and then talking to Anna, which just like helped cement them. Because I knew they had like a deformity caused from fighting in this ancient war and everything, but I didn't know what their name was or what their deformity slash break was. And when Anna said a few things and heard me wrong on something, it filled in the blanks on that character and it wound up damaged in the head. And then the other one was literally just summoned by someone on the run and being like, I don't even know why the fuck I'm here. I wasn't told anything. So it'll be really great.
Yeah, I get what's the
What's
your
the
favorite
meaning of
color?
life? What's the meaning of life?
Yeah, some bullshit question. We're like,
Yeah, that's
what?
wrong. It's like, wait, what do you
Right,
mean that's
look, I
wrong?
don't know.
Of course it's
I'm
not
just
wrong.
putting it in right
Okay,
now.
fine, whatever, fuck it. I don't care. I don't even know why I'm here.
That was ridiculous.
It was. I was really annoyed with myself after those two. I was like, I never used one with you guys in proper context. So if you could use one and actually do it some justice, that'd be great. I would appreciate it.
We'll see, because it'll be a very sort of like very real world interpretation of it, considering the setting.
Yeah. Boop, doop, 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 doop. I have no idea where my T-Rex went, but I'm hunting the Serato now. And I don't remember how to change
I
names.
want to see. I really want to see like most of the characters at some point end
Ah,
up
yeah.
in the dreaming, because I mean it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah. I am.
Just be careful where you step.
Yeah, I'm most excited to see the non-changelings enter the dreaming. That's exciting for me. Like,
Yes.
I think the most fucked up one will be when the werewolves in the Farah inevitably wind up in there. Hoof, because I'm going to have to run that.
Yeah.
Ugh. So yeah, that's gonna be great. What I also want to see, and I'm kind of excited for, is the whole Giovanni situation. Like, cause it's hilarious and extra screwed up because they would normally bind ghosts from another plane and be like lol 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 whatever. They can't do anything till I'm done. But you know, a ghost could literally punch you while you're trying to bind it. So like, what did you are the one trying to put bindings on me. I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And if you take it away, well, it might wind up out of your control and back where it was anyway, due to the Aboriginals, or they might come hunt you down for taking it when they're like, hey, that's supposed to be teaching lessons over here. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. Right, man. It'll be really confusing.
Oh, nice shot. Yeah, that'll be really fun. That's the whole situation. I'm gonna have to call this T-Rex because I cannot find it anywhere. Ring, 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 ring. T-Rex on phone.
Banana phone.
Oh, there's two Ceratos over here. Did not know that. Well, it's probably this way because there's danger this way. That's where the T-Rex has to be, right? Swag YOLO hashtag. Anyway, yeah. So that's an exciting endeavor. And then, yeah, Vampire's gonna be weird. We got to know more about where the city's gonna be to really get too far into the vampire story.
I think it will probably be a Camarilla City, right?
Most likely.
Um,
Ooh, between both of them now. because
I
we
mean,
just
it'll be
like
that or
them
the
more.
independent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we like doing the Camarilla one. The Sabat in normal places is kind of really cool, except for the whole Valdery thing, which I didn't like. Which is my least favorite part of the Sabat, by the way, for anyone wondering about my opinion on Sabat. Valdery is bullshit. Don't like it. Oh, you are running at me. No. That's right, you get back down there. Don't you come looking at me. Don't you do it. Swag Lord. Oh my god. Don't you do it. That's right. Take a nap. You just go in and sleep. Alright, it's a sleepy baby. God, it's a 1-star. I did so terribly. I hit him like 30 times. God. It's awful. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited for that. The Independents are really a cool spot because we get to utilize any anti-tribu, which is really exciting. You know. But also, like,
Yeah, you could actually like, you could feasibly have like a Torador, and a um, I forgot their names. The really proper dudes.
Ventru?
Yeah, Ventru. You could have like the worst of the worst and like a Ventru on the same team. Like
Yeah, ooh, what's
relatively easily.
exciting is you could have the arch nemesis of, you know, a Ventru and a Zamish together in the same coterie, and sure, it'd be weird as hell, but you could do it. And, you know, the Zamish are my favorite clan. They're my favorite, followed immediately by Nosferatu.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, they're my faves. But yeah, like, I think Zamish was the first clan that made me actually realize or care about the setting at all. It's also the first one I encountered in a game in the setting, so really means a lot to me. But yeah, because, you know, like, Gangrel, I encountered Gangrel back when I was just with WWE watching stuff there. Like, you know, easiest first vampire clan I ever knew the name of. All I had to do was watch some pro wrestling to figure that shit out. Yeah, I know, right? Didn't need Vampire the Masquerade for that one. But I did for learning about the Zamish, which was really cool. There's also this one tribe, well, clan of spiky vampires that are in the Dark Ages.
You mean there isn't ones that glow or sparkle like diamonds?
I mean, that sounds like a Nosferatu to me, dude. That's just a Nosferatu with obfuscate, because they can look like that. Have you seen the Nick Tuck-2?
I'm talking about Twilight. I'm talking
know.
about Twilight.
I know, but that's literally like straight up Nosferatu vampire stuff. Like the Nick Tuck-2 look beautiful until they start to get, like, they look unnaturally, ungodly beautiful until they get a little bit older, and then they get incredibly, like, muscular and coated in eyeballs and stuff, as well as retaining their beauty, and they're freaky as fuck. But yeah, basically,
How do you retain your beauty after that? I don't know.
yeah, it's weird. They're full of those type of confusing things. It's really neat.
Okay.
But yeah, like, the vampires from freaking Twilight are literally just Vampire the Masquerade, Nosferatu, who, you know, are just pretty. Like, oh, the way they're ugly and freaky is because that they're, you know, sparkle butts. What the hell is this? What is this Serato doing? Is he doing drugs? I bet he's doing drugs. Oh, it's a T-Rex. Yes, I found you again.
So are we doing Masquerade today or no?
No.
No.
No, we don't have
Okay.
Joey,
Probably
so
work.
it'd be kind of fucked up to do it. Especially since, yeah.
Yeah, with where we left off, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of passed out, so
That's fine. Yeah. Do T-Rex is running. Are they running at me? I don't know. I don't think so.
that's running at you.
Well, it's doing a terrible job of it. I'm a crouch. Oh, and now it's doing
You
a
want
good
him to
job.
do a good job? I told you.
I kind of do. Swag.
You did.
Swag.
want to
YOLO. Oh man, I was hoping to hit it in the eye.
Why not just hit him in the lung?
Because if you hit the eye, it's a one shot, just like in the old game. Well, in the old game, you literally can't kill the T-Rex without hitting in the eye. That's the only spot. But in this one, you can lung shot him. You move so fast, dude. Like 1/10 the speed of a T-Rex in the old game. But yeah, swag. I'm gonna switch guns. I'm gonna do this. This is the dumbest thing you can do. I'm running at you with a pistol. Oh, it's ruined the sound. It's destroyed the sound of the game. Here I go. Thug. I'm not that thug.
I want to switch weapons.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, for a game made by people who've only made games with the AI of deer in it, this is actually pretty good. This is better than should be. Yahoo! Well, time to be that thug. No, I need to reload right now. I'm dead. That's okay. That
Well,
was
to be
fun.
fair, you kind of fed yourself to him.
Yeah, I did. But that's part of the fun. Is being an idiot.
You know, if you guys have the new COD, we can play together, even on different platforms.
I don't know what I got.
Yeah, I don't play Call of Duty.
I have one Call of Duty on here because one nerd played it, and they were like, "Oh man, here you go," and I'm like, "All right, cool."
Just a suggestion, that is all.
The Great Forest is pretty. Let's do it. There's no dangerous creatures here, but I'll walk around while we talk. Nyom. Yeah. So, anyway, what else is there really to discuss? Oh, so do you guys have any idea what kind of vampire players you want to play?
Picked Gargoyle.
I picked
I
Gargoyle.
haven't picked. I probably should do that.
Yeah,
Have you seen the TV show Gargoyles?
dude, yes. It's so good.
I want to look like Goliath.
Well, you're gonna be a bit more more like him during the day than at night. But yeah, that's totally fine.
You mean I'll just be like stony?
Yeah. Oh, and
Mhm.
what's your base clan? Is it Nos or is it Zim?
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's three different kinds of gargoyle. We didn't go over this before.
Nope.
But there's the scout, the sentinel, and the other one.
Yep.
I don't remember.
It has a different name, but I don't care. Also, as a Hungarian, the fact they use Sentinel for that kind of makes me mad, but whatever.
Okay, so what does each one do?
One is one is faster, one hits harder, one is tankier.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the Zamish one looks spiky.
What's the ratio between tanky and damage?
It doesn't influence it that much.
Oh. Okay then. What does range? What does scout do?
Okay, so scouts get slight bonus to flying, and the ability lets them like the gargoyle shit.
Mm-hmm.
The gargoyle discipline. they get like that is slightly better for them, and so is flying. The one of them has is better fortitude, and the other one is slightly better potence.
I kind of might go with Scout, actually. That sounds good. I mean, why not make the thing that makes me special better?
Yeah.
I mean, they all make you better in slightly different ways, but I mean, if you want to do a more sort of scouty dude, then
If you want to specialize even more on what
go.
the gargoyle does, then yeah, it makes sense.
Well, using the gargoyle's abilities, I can survey, but I can also take advantage of surprise attacks and stuff like that. I'm thinking.
Yeah. Ooh, the the coolest thing about the gargoyles is using them to know how many people and stuff are in a building. Oh.
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went over their special ability thing.
Which, by the way,
Well, it's like,
if you guys didn't lock up Millie and decided to take her with you and use you could have used her to figure out where all the enemies were. But you guys walked the like prime best route you freaking could have into that place anyway, so not needed.
but no, it was like I kind of wish people told me about this beforehand. I mean, I know you kind of mentioned it, but it was like, okay, it's just another vampire clan that are just called Gargoyle. That sounds boring. No one explained to me what they did.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that would have been awesome. I would have picked that.
Yeah, that's the first one Anna played in a Vampire the Masquerade game. hmm And she had a very
that campaign went places.
it went there fast, and then it didn't go places after that.
Um, so how much more does it increase my flying and everything else? Like by a little bit?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I don't think it's a very large bonus.
And
Because
besides,
I'm thinking of going either that or melee damage. One of the two.
yes, one shot, one kill. And besides, Vampire and, basically all World Darkness is more story-based anyway than stat-based. So,
Indeed.
yeah, so you can make things work differently as long as your DM's not a jackwagon.
Yes, spread my favorite insult. Fucking love
Jackwagon?
jackwagon.
Yes, I love saying jackwagon too. It's a good insult.
So
Now that you told me that, my character is going to use it in our next campaign.
Beautiful.
So, my cat is going to start, my tabaxi rogue is going to start calling people jackwagons.
That's beautiful. I love that expression.
whoa, jackwagon, bam-a-lam. I said, whoa, jackwagon, bam-a-lam.
Ain't no wagon but a jackwagon. Okay.
I was kind of thinking doing Warforge and going with the AK-47 personality.
AK-47.
If you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you do, Will.
Nope.
I think you'd love AK-47. HK-47.
HK-47. Hold on. I'm about to jump onto this rock. Okay. And now I'm going to scream the song of someone else's people. And Paris are everywhere. Okay, I'm going to the middle of that then. Anyway, yeah, whatchamacallit. Yeah, the gargoyles are really cool. I like them a lot. Oh, hey, you know what we should do? We should talk about, like, our World of Darkness stuff a bit. So, yeah, like, how I got into World of Darkness is kind of interesting. So, got into it before I knew I did. Two ways. One, I knew a bunch of the clan names and stuff already through other completely unrelated subjects, which wound up leading me there. And that
also surprised me.
Yeah, and then I played a card game called Rage, which is all about no Rage, which is all about werewolf apocalypse during the War of Rage and the War of Sorrow. So, yeah, that one was really good. I learned a lot of things. It was the most complicated card game I've ever played in my life, and the only card game that got close to that in level of complication was the My Little Pony card game.
My Little Pony,
My
My
Little
Little Pony.
Pony, ah, My Little Pony, do you know you are my very best friend? Love that show. But anyways, yeah, that card game got close. It got close.
The only card games that ever really got close for me were Magic and
Oh, Magic is simple as fuck.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Those games are so
Magic
simple.
and Yu-Gi-Oh games. I actually went into a tournament and did a few different tournaments.
The Magic rules are simple. Actually, sitting down and playing it can get complicated.
You want to know what's
If you
complicated
have
as
copyright
fuck?
cards.
Just trying to play any game of Werewolf of Rage. Fuck that. It's so complicated, man. It's good.
I actually got
It's complicated as
in
hell.
one of the tournaments. In one of the tournaments, I played in Magic. No, Yu-Gi-Oh. I got in second place, and I lost. My opponent had 100 health points left.
That's pretty good.
100 HP, and if he just attacked my one face down card, he would have lost. He would have lost, and I would have won, and it would have been glorious. But
But sadly did not happen.
The way of things.
It was such a good game. We were both neck to neck the entire time. My deck was amazing. It was oh god. It was completely designed around preventing him from attacking me. That's what it was. It was designed for preventing him to attack me while I attack his life points directly.
Oh, I meant his
And
eyeball.
every creature he attacked of mine had some effect that took away life points. In pretty decent chunks of like 500.
He's your baby.
See, I've never played that game. I tried. Someone tried to get me to play it, and I found it boring.
Yu-Gi-Oh is basically like Magic Light. I'm not trying to offend Yu-Gi-Oh players, but like,
no, Magic is more offensive based, and Yu-Gi-Oh is more. I kind of
defensive
want to say more
trap
strategic
based.
because it's more strategic because there are traps. There's magic cards. There's quick access. There's all kinds of different things you can do that you don't have access to in Magic. You just don't.
Some of the things you do have access to in Magic that are by Yu-Gi-Oh
You
is
have,
a little different.
you have monster abilities. You have card ability. You have monster abilities.
I was gonna say in Magic, the things that come close are very rare and few betweens. They're not like a normal gameplay option, unlike in Yu-Gi-Oh where it's a legit strategy to utilize traps. In Magic, people are like, what the fuck are you doing? You're so inefficient. Because there's all these other way more efficient routes to go.
Yes. So again, it's not that one is better than the other. It's just that they both have completely different play styles. That's it. One's not superior to the other.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Not to offend Yu-Gi-Oh players because it's different.
Again, fuck them, man.
Oh no, I like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I have nothing against Yu-Gi-Oh players, but I like
I'm an ex-Yu-Gi-Oh player. I don't play anymore.
Like a lot of the artists I
retired.
follow play that.
You know
I
what
don't
more
know,
people need
it's
to play?
gotten crazy.
With White Schwartz. Where are all the White Schwartz players in the world?
That's a
What's a white
legitimate
sword?
question.
It's like the best card game that's ever been invented.
Never heard
Pretty
of it.
good.
Easily. Exactly. No one's heard of it. And that's the problem.
If it was that good, people would have heard of it.
No.
Well, look it up. Look it up. Trust me. I walked into Area 51 like forever ago, right? Well, obviously it was Area 51, so
Yeah,
that
I know,
still
man.
existed.
Everyone ran into Area 51. I remember that year.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not even in the top
You know what I mean.
results for Google.
just because you typed it in wrong, you dip. It's
Yeah.
White Schwartz. It's German. The game is not German. The name is German.
Okay, how about you spell it for me then?
Well, it's German for white black. Weiss Schwartz.
Is Serato there?
Anyway,
WHITE?
what?
How am I spelling white?
Weiss.
Weiss?
Weiss Schwartz. Jesus.
Weiss? I don't know how to spell Weiss.
It's German.
That doesn't help me. I can't just click German into my Google search bar and click in random letters and it tell me what I want.
I mean, yeah, you can say German, white, black, and it'll translate it for you.
English to German translator.
Anyway,
no. Okay.
I walked into Area 51 one day, and I'm like, hey, do you guys have White Schwartz cards? And dude behind the counter's like, I've never heard of it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you're ever getting in, let me know. It's a game that's really popular in Japan, and it's starting to come over here to America. Dude looked me in the face and said, if I've never heard of it, it's not a game worth playing. I'm like, okay, and I didn't go back to Area 51 until they were closing.
Fair.
I was like, fuck that guy. To be fair, it did get more popular in America. It just didn't get that popular in America, which is annoying.
Yeah. It had a bunch of different stuff going on, right? That's the one with the different animes and stuff.
Yes, there's like
Hell yeah.
150 different anime you can play.
Yeah, I remember like someone was using like a K-pop band anime thing, whatever it was, anime idol thing, yes, and someone else was using like a fighting anime thing or whatever. It was weird.
That was me.
I pick Yusuke or no Hiei. I'd pick Hiei.
Yeehaw!
No, Hiei is amazing. I love him. He's one of my favorite anime characters. He's boss.
There's also this one game. What was it? It had like the Green Lanterns of Justice League and a bunch of other stuff in it. That was a really good card game, and realized and knew that it was about turns. So it's just like it acknowledged that in the game, unlike Magic, which pretends that turns don't matter. The difference between turn 4 and turn 8 isn't that big, when really, yeah, those are dramatically different parts of the game. You're in different spots. Another one acknowledged that straight up and was like, okay, if this card is out, you win at exactly turn 8. Done. Just game over. You're done. If it's beyond that, you've won. Alright, good. It knew how long its games are meant to last, and it didn't shy out of that. Which is really cool. But
fun!
Yeah. And they had rules for making your own cards and decks in it, too, which is kind of neat. Oh, I don't think I've actually hung out in this area before. I might get on that rock. You shush. Dinosaur. Do. But yeah, so that World of Darkness stuff, how I got into it. Yep, Rage. Rage was a great card game. Played it, super good. Super annoying as fuck to learn. Awesome. Awesome to play. And then I got this wonderful little game that happened way later called Vampire the Masquerade Requiem. Oh, not Requiem. Redemption. That's what it was. Redemption. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's the one that I have on Xbox?
Redemption is where you play as a crusader who winds up becoming a Zamish.
No, this one you pick between one of 3 preset characters, pre-made characters.
No, that's the game that came way later, dude. I know that one. That's the Coteries one. Coteries of New York or something is what you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the Nosferatu looks like a pretty boy who's just kind of grunge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Coteries. That's 5th edition stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, guys, look at this Nosferatu. He's like a sexy bitch, but his hair's all fucked up, so, wow,
well,
what
it was long black hair. He had long black hair.
Yeah, it's just a little scraggly. Oh my god, he's so ugly, guys. Yeah, I don't get that. But anyways, besides the point. Yeah, so you wind up playing as a crusader in, Dark Ages. You get vamped by you kick the ass out of a shit ton of Sriracha war ghouls and then make it to the Zamish who has created all of these ones, like the actual leader vampire there, who she is a badass, by the way. And you get embraced and defeat her. It's really weird. and stuff happens, and then later you wind up in New York, and your stuff goes crazy, and eventually you get to the end of time because your character lives that long, and you fight Kane like mano a mano, and that's how it ends.
Does it end with you winning or losing?
I don't remember. I actually don't remember if it even let the fight finish or if it was just like halfway through the fight and the game hit the end. I really don't know, but it got to that point.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah, it was really good. I didn't. The campaign was okay. Let me put it that way. Like it was fun enough, but the game really shined in multiplayer because it had a storyteller thing where you could be a big floaty head going around that no one could see, and you could possess stuff and went on and type and talk in the chat and change things. Like group, like oh, it's now considered enemy, friend, whatever. While you were in it, man, and that was pretty cool. And swap things out for things. So basically, we used that to play World of Darkness before it was, its own system. So basically, we were playing Vampire the Masquerade in that, and yeah, oof, it was super fun. There's so much crazy shit that I did, but I remember there's this one time when the players that I had were going into this building in New York, and they were reaching the top, and then, they went there to talk to some big bad and whatnot. And when they get back downstairs, the guys who all had machine guns were suddenly replaced with these big black werewolves who went at them all, and it was really cool. It was a super fun experience. They realized, oh shit, we just got betrayed by a bunch of werewolves who just brought us here so they could kill us. Or one of my favorite experiences playing a vampire was in that game as well, but I wasn't the host. Someone else was the host in this other one, and I was playing as a vampire because you could play a human or a vampire in it. And I was with a bunch of humans. Like my dad and my mom were playing humans. I was playing a vampire. We were in the Dark Ages. We were walking through, and then we got to daytime Prague, and we had to get through this broken cathedral church-looking thing, and there was rays of sunlight in there. And we're walking along, and then I burn in the sunlight, and my character flips the fuck out. He starts raging and freaking shit out, and they turn around like, "Oh shit, you're a vampire! Oh god, you're a villain. You're an enemy." And it was really cool because that's the first time I had that experience of where you're playing something that's not the thing other people are playing, and they discover it. And it was really neat. Like I don't remember if we wound up having an epic fight with their characters in mind, or if we agreed to just go our separate ways or what. But after that happened, I remember not long later playing as a human character with them. So I don't know if I decided to leave as that character to help him hunt evil stuff his own way on his own, or if they actually fought him to the death or what. But that was really cool. And that's how I wound up playing a vampire before I knew it had its own pen and paper system. Yeah.
The way I got into World of Darkness was very different. I was just sort of like I spent a lot of time online just reading stuff that people have written, and I found something someone had written that greatly interested me. I thought it was the world that this person had, I thought at the time, built was fascinating. I'm like, I want to know more about this. Has this guy written anything else? Turns out this guy was just transcribing a live play, or just transcribing a game of Changeling the Lost that he had played. And when I found that out, I'm like, oh, what's that? And I went and did a bunch of reading, and I kind of just fell in love with the system. I know it's New World of Darkness. However, there's no way to compare Changeling the Lost and Changeling the Dreaming.
No.
They are not the same thing. They're not even close to the same thing. So I love them both for very different reasons. They're both awesome. They're both fascinating. Yeah, and I'm not saying one's better than the other because that's just not true. but the is certainly Changeling the Lost was fascinating, and I spent a lot of time reading it and learning more about it, and it is what eventually led me into World of Darkness. And when I was invited along to play in New World of Darkness stuff, I was like, "Oh, or in Old World of Darkness stuff." I'm like, "Oh, I'm vaguely familiar with World of Darkness." They're like, "Oh, which system do you know?" And I'm like, "Changeling the Lost," and I get a bunch of weird looks. Like, what?
Like, huh? What are you talking about?
um, but yeah, I did was able to go in knowing something at least.
Yeah, which
It
is
wasn't much, but it was something.
yeah. Having any idea about how the system works is a big help because for people coming from like D&D and whatnot, the biggest thing is like the rolls to hit, the confirmations for hitting, and then the damage as separate things. And that's still giving us issues now because we were just so ingrained in D&D for so many years in a row. We
Yeah, we kind of forget sometimes how certain systems work, and we fill in the gaps with D&D system, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We can play the game however we want to, but it definitely is different, for sure.
Well, I
Because
have a
like,
completely different perspective on that one.
yeah,
It's well, it's the same perspective, but I can double down on that.
yeah, World of Darkness is not designed for combat.
no, it's really not. It's designed for everything else, and then the combat is designed for you to story your way through, as opposed to actually, you know, um, it's meant to be like a play, as opposed to a. You're not playing Diablo. Let's put it that way. You're playing a virtual novel. Yeah, that's the best way to say it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, there might be a decent fighting system in there, but that's not what it was geared at. You're doing it wrong if that's what you're focusing on.
yeah, I'm super excited to do this whole nonsense because like it's quite the project, and yeah, like once we kind of have a little bit of an idea of what Joey wants, then we can pick. Our first step should be to pick like starting locations for each game. Once we have that, and we haven't like, basically we need to figure out what everyone's characters are. That way we can pick a starting location for each of the campaigns. Then we can sort of write the starts of like the opening sort of
Yeah.
arc for each campaign.
Nice
And once
shot.
we do that, we
Thank
can
you.
do the whole NPC left. I think is the order we need to do stuff in.
Yeah. I think
Because like even though
Werewolf is going to be
the
the
whole Chronicle
easiest
style,
because they travel everywhere, and we're going to be starting off wherever Zamish II is defeated at, which will probably be outside of his actual domain. So, yeah.
I think the Chronicle style web is going to have to be like step 5 or 6. Um,
That's nothing. Yeah. I'm excited for it though. But yeah, we definitely need to figure out which vampires we're playing with. So, do you have any idea which one you're going with? Are you going with another Ravno, or are you going to do something different this time?
I don't like to play the same thing twice in a row if I can avoid it. Um, if we end up doing a Camarilla campaign, I should probably figure out what I'm doing before if we pick the location. Uh, I don't know. I think the independent option would be very interesting. Would be the most interesting.
I think so
Um,
too, because you
so
could
I'm
have anything.
uh, so I might pick something weird.
Okay, weirder than gargoyle. Good luck. Are you gonna do pick a Nephilim? Which version?
I'm really excited about
Yeah, it's exciting. But yeah, so oh my god, yeah. In our campaign that we're currently doing, the Africa one that's just about ending. There's actually 2 vampires
it.
of the
Wait, is
Nephilim
my
clan.
character actually going to survive this?
What's up?
I'm actually quite excited. I'm actually quite excited if my character is actually going to survive this.
I think your character might, depending on how things go. Yeah, you might actually wind up in a really interesting spot for if we ever go back to Africa, or if we ever talk about it or write things about it. Your character will be in a unique and weird position. But yeah, so there's 2 characters in our current campaign who are of the very old Nephilim clan of vampires, and there's 2 versions of it, and one of them represents each version of it, which is really cool. Oh, it is a Serato. Oh, that did not work. There we go. Where is it?
Fuck's sake.
Huh? My music is getting intense.
I can't find it on Google, so I'm gonna have to just open up my book and scroll. I really hate how they took out the chapter system. It fucking is the most annoying shit.
Don't no. You know what the most annoying shit is? That fucking Microsoft couldn't get on the ball with not auto-correcting shit so bad that the entire language of talking about genomes had to change. Ooh, it's mutated. Oh, that's the one I want to get. Dun 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 dun. Here we go. We're after a mutated baby, yo. Mutated Serato. But yeah, the lack of the PDF stuff is a major issue. And we can't just chapter wing, because I've been trying with Microsoft Edge too, and it's kind of annoying. But the old boys, Internet Explorer still does it right. Yeah, boy. I think after I get a Serato. But yes.
Microsoft Explorer has been
So,
not too friendly with me.
yeah.
Yes. They were just fine when they updated. Fucked up.
But yeah, so we talked about how Will got into World of Darkness. Did we finish that one?
Or I know how I did it.
Yeah. Craig, how'd you wind up in here? It's such a question that none of us know the answer to.
Some weird people just like, hey, you want to play a vampire game? I was like, sure, why not? Okay, that's what happened. That's what happened.
A bunch of real freaks. Like
Real
Weird
fucking
people say, hey, you
weirdos.
want to play a table game with us on the PC? I was like, sure.
Yeah, you wanna do some stuff with Discord, man? Yeah, you can totally be a furry in it. That's fine.
Oh, that's what sold me on it. Someone said it could be a furry. I was like, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Sign me up.
Sign me up for that shit.
Yeah, I'll furry all over it.
Oh man, there's so many
You know that's what happened because I built a character who was a furry.
Yeah, I
Oh, there you go.
know. On that whole concept. Like from the get go. Where did this mutant Serato go? I don't even know. Hashtag oh, don't kill me. I said don't. Don't do it. Alright.
Hmm.
There's another stego over here? Damn, it's
Hmm.
stego heaven. But yeah, so Game of the World of Darkness was neato and weirdo and fun. Oh yeah, but yeah, then I played a bunch of like werewolf stuff while talking to people about werewolf because the card game got me into that whole spectrum. And people in Alaska don't fucking hold back when it comes to werewolf. Like I've seen some werewolf games since. Like I watched a few ones that are being broadcast online or streamed or whatever. I'm like, wow, this is the tamest fucking shit ever. And then I listened to a few other people, natives who are from different parts of the U.S. who played werewolf and their opinions and stuff on it, and theirs were like half as intense as the stuff in Alaska. And I'm like, yeah, that's a little more in line with how it should be. But yeah, those people at the same time though very different because like werewolf in Alaska is like 4 to 12 people. Werewolf in the campaigns these guys were doing was like averaging 50 to 60 people. So I understand why it wasn't as intense because there's so fucking many people.
Way too many fucking people.
Yeah, agreed. I'm like, you
I mean,
really
God, how long would one combat session in D&D last with that many people?
way too goddamn fucking long. But I mean, they do that at conventions sometimes, and it's insane. But they make
I
it
won't.
work.
I won't.
Yeah, I sure as hell won't. Like, it's fucking
Yeah,
insane.
no, thank you.
What's
I
cool?
might be a masochist, but it's not that
Yeah.
much of one.
What I like about some of the D&D things for that is they'll have like people who are they hire and whatnot to be the NPCs, and that person will walk around to different tables at the convention as the NPC, and when he's at that table, then he's with that group. When they're not, then the character's not there with them, which I thought was really cool. That was an interesting concept.
Pause. I'll be right back.
All right.
Hmm.
Daily Marmot. It's not fair. But yeah, that stuff is super cool. Yep. Yep, jumping around like an idiot. Because that's what I am. I can't find this mutant Serato. I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna freaking exit to the main menu. Wait. I should just. I should actually do this the proper way. There you go. Do 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 do. Wee. God, I wish they added the Allosaurus and Velociraptors into this game. Okay, I'm gonna end this thing at that. Bloop.